It was a busy weekend for Justin Bieber as he got in yet another heated confrontation with paparazzi outside of a nightclub in Malibu, California. TMZ reported on this and they got the video. He is yelling at the paparazzi for flashing photos of him while he's about to get into his car. And he decided, not today, Satan. I'm going to get into a verbal altercation. He's not going to let this one go. He's going to stand on business. And it's just
I
the
know
way
this
that
is true
he's
because
talking.
Mary has been talking about standing on business all day now.
This is another one of my verbal tics today.
Yes.
When he says, you're not getting it. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it?
Let's listen to this clip.
I'm a dad. I'm a husband. You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you.
It's not clocking to
It's
you.
not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it?
We're on the sidewalk,
I don't give a f if you're on the sidewalk. I'm a human being. You're standing around my car. At the beach. You know what I'm saying? You don't think I'm a real guy, dude.
If he was at an office park, it would be okay, but he's at the beach.
You're going to take this video out of context. You're going to say I'm mad. I don't know who the paying you to provoke me, but I'm not the one. Okay? Stop provoking me. I'm a real dad, a real husband, a real man.
All right,
so don't do this to me.
Is the idea here that if he was like single without kids, it would be okay?
He's not with his wife or his kid,
Okay?
so I don't know
I'm
what
not to
that
be with.
means.
I don't know who's paying you to with me or provoke me, but I'm not the one. I don't care that you're on the sidewalk. I don't care what kind of dirty work, what kind of nasty you're getting paid in the background to provoke me, bro, but I'm not the one. I'm really not the one. I don't care that you're on the sidewalk, bro. Clearly you're here for an alternate agenda. Why would you want to be here to provoke me like this? This isn't love.
You're not provoking, Josh.
This isn't love, bro. This is weird, bro. Y'all are on some real weird shit. Literally.
All right, have a good night, Jason.
Okay, then go then have a good night somewhere else, man, for real.
All right,
Because
cool.
I'm not going to stand around here and let this happen. No sir. No way. No how.
All right, cool.
This is the beach.
You guys
People
can
get
make
to
room,
be at
too.
the beach.
So
They do.
this is a little Mexican standoff. It's like, who's going to leave first? He wants to stand there until he forces the paparazzi to leave by just sheer power of his aura.
Yeah. Well, he's like, look, you know what I miss? If this was a TV show in the 2000s, the guy's like, it's a free country. I can stand here if I want.
So what's really fascinating about the clip, aside from, the clocking to you bit that I loved, is him implying that the paparazzi are there because they're being paid to provoke him by some shadowy agenda. We cannot be certain whether or not there is a blackout media campaign against Justin Bieber to portray him as crazy in the media, but many people have floated that theory in recent months. And some people think it's Scooter Braun. Others will pin it on relative business managers that he has broken contact with. And I would say, regardless of whether that's the case, Justin Bieber believes the theory. And he must know more about the situation than we do. And he is not doing himself any favors. Whatever that shadowy figure is doing behind the scenes, paying paparazzi to follow him and provoke him, whatever they're doing is working. Because now at this point, the general public seeing this thinks, wow, Justin Bieber is crazy. It's working. That PR campaign to make him seem crazy, if there really is one behind the scenes, operated by Scooter Braun or whoever, it's working.
So the comments in the chat seem to be pretty split on like, look, I don't like Justin Bieber, but are we really standing up for the paparazzi here? I think it's more of a pragmatic approach to this is the industry they are all involved in, and it's kind of par for the course when you're a certain level of celebrity that this stuff is going to happen. Is it kind of gross and disgusting? Yeah. It is, but it's the reality they live in, and the best thing that Justin could do would be to work on maybe some mental exercises on how to leave those situations without, like engaging with them, as much as that sucks.
Anger
that he
management.
would have to do that, but it's the only way forward because otherwise you're just going to keep getting clipped in situations like this. And we're trying to allow the context here by playing the whole thing with what he said, which is like, you're going to clip me, take me out of context. I'm sure that he was provoked. Absolutely.
Yeah, there are
100%.
also longer clips in the TMZ article if you want to go pursue the full context, but we don't have time to go through them right now. And no one here is claiming that paparazzi are moral paragons of our society. One of the arguments for the idea that someone is paying paparazzi to provoke him into anger is that there's no logical explanation for paparazzi in this digital age. Everyone has a smartphone. If they see Justin Bieber out in public, they're obviously going to snap photos and videos of him. So why is it that hordes of paparazzi would be waiting for him outside his house, waiting for him everywhere he goes, outside of coffee shops, etc.? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense because there are still a lot of other A-list celebrities that on Justin's level and more famous that are not receiving the same attention from paparazzi.
Yes,
but it's
right
also
now,
it's in a negative feedback loop where they're hoping things like this will happen.
But it's connected to his posts on social media and the
Yeah.
way he's behaving. So if you go, who's another celebrity in like his range? Like who's somebody that you think of that's kind of similar to him that's unproblematic or not really getting talked about a lot?
I mean, you could say
think
Selena Gomez.
Think about
is one of
any
those
celebrity,
people.
right? If they're not posting a bunch of stuff on social
Yeah.
media that indicates to them that they might be vulnerable right now, then they're not going to
Right.
give them the time of day.
Yeah.
So he makes it worse when his social media posts make him out to be a little bit uneven, to make him out to be a little bit off his rocker right now. Whether it's true or not the point. The point is they smell blood in the water. And then he goes out, and then like you said, it's a negative feedback loop, and it's just a circle. It's just you go over and over again through the same paradigm. The best thing he could do, and it would take some work, I'm sure, would be to kind of, think before you text, think before you post, set your phone down, lock it for a bit, and get enough time, go out and about enough times without engaging in them and giving them any fodder.
Right.
And hopefully then the cycle breaks. But I don't know if that's possible right now.
We have a 20 from Pop Culture Junkie. Bear Poking 101 is the first course that you take when you go to Paparazzi University. A lot of paps out there that look at celebrities as prey.
Yep.
I agree with that. I don't want to be in the position where I am defending paparazzi on this show, but it cannot be denied Justin Bieber is not doing himself any favors with his conduct in real life or his conduct on social media. He certainly needs to err on the side of silence at this point. And one of the recent controversies about his social media behavior is on Mother's Day, when he, instead of posting about his wife, the mother of his new baby, said, "Mother's Day sucks ass." And as a retaliation, it appears his wife Haley posted jokingly, "Father's Day sucks ass" over the weekend on his post on Instagram. And he also posted a caption saying, "I'm a dad that's not to be effed with." Full Papa Bear mode.
Again, you're not helping your
No.
case.
No.
Like, you're not.
And then on top of that, there was a headline in Complex where he's holding his new baby, Jack Blues Bieber. They made a typo in the headline saying Jack Blue Bieber instead of Blues. And he commented saying, "It's Jack Blues, middle finger emoji." That at that point, that headline isn't even negative.
Nope.
It was just a Father's Day post that was actually positive for you. They made an innocent typo, and he made this antagonistic comment. He cannot seem to act normal.
This says the original, this is like the context because it says Jack Blues in the post.
Right.
They edited
They edited it after he issued the correction, but there was never a need to comment on it in the first place.
So, the top comment says, so his child's last name is an emoji?
It's Jack Blues Bieber middle finger emoji on the birth certificate. Yeah. I mean, that's the future. He also posted an essay on his Instagram at the same time saying he has anger issues, so he is admitting that. "People keep telling me to heal. Don't you think if I could have fixed myself, I would have already? I know I'm broken. I know I have anger issues. I tried to do the work my whole life to be like the people who told me I needed to be fixed like them. And it just keeps making me more tired and more angry. The harder I try to grow, the more focused on myself I am. Jesus is the only person who keeps me wanting to make my life about others, because honestly, I'm exhausted with thinking about myself lately. Aren't you? I see where he's coming from, because people are saying all of these fake solutions, like, you know, you need to go to therapy, you need medication, you need this, you need that. The best thing for him, though, would be to stop disclosing his private
so public
feelings
about everything. Yeah.
Stop yourself from giving in and indulging that draw to self-disclosure, which is incentivized on social media, not just for celebrities, but for ordinary people as well.
Yeah, a lot of people, they use every aspect of social media as a form of a diary. And the problem is, when you write in a diary, the only person who gets to read back and reflect on what you wrote is yourself. But when you put it out into the world, I think there's still this naive belief that you're going to get nothing but the responses you hope for. And that's not the way the world works, especially not when you're somebody of his level of fame.
Yeah. And he aired more dirty laundry over the weekend, sharing screenshots of a text conversation between himself and now, I suppose, an ex-friend in their falling out over text. He said to them, "I will never suppress my emotions for someone. Conflict is a part of relationship. If you don't like my anger, you don't like me. My anger is a response to pain I've been through. Asking a traumatized person not to be traumatized is simply mean." This friend of his said, "I'm not used to someone lashing out at me. It's not that I don't see and feel your anger." He said, "Ouch, this friendship is officially over. I will never accept a man calling my anger lashing out. I enjoyed our short-lived relationship. I wasn't kidding when I told you I didn't need you as a friend. I have good friends who respect these boundaries."
It actually seems like he's the one with the boundary issues.
Right. This person is saying, when you respond to me with anger, I am not going to respond. And he's not able to accept that as their response. And then he further went on to say, "I thought you were a beep,"
Yes.
a cat emoji, "which is why I always kept my distance, but I was willing to give you the benefit of the doubt. This confirms you were the beep I always thought you were. Middle finger emoji. Please leave me alone now." And they said, "I'm a beep?" And he said, "Blocking you now." I don't know why on earth you would share such a conversation
Especially
with your
one that,
entire following on social media.
like, unless there's some, like, a drastic amount of context that's missing from that, he shared something that makes him look bad.
It makes him look absolutely unhinged.
Yes.
And of course, we don't know the context. For all we know, this is some kind of Harley Pasternak handler
And
behind
that guy
the scenes
deserves
who
it.
deserves it.
But we don't know that, and that's the
Yeah.
problem. The problem is that he shared it without us knowing what type of person this guy is,
Yeah.
and it doesn't make anyone look bad but him.
And the reason why it's concerning is because there appears to be this sort of schizophrenic mentality in the way that he presents himself to his followers. He thinks that we know the context. It's weird. You know, I always point out, we use the same internet as unmedicated schizophrenic people. And you can tell when you've encountered one of them, because they think when they post something cryptic that you know the context.
Yeah.
And there's a whole story behind it, and they think you're clued into it. I'm not saying Justin Bieber is schizophrenic. I'm just saying that's posts like this are the reason people are calling him crazy. He's not helping himself. And, you know, maybe providing context would help, but would help more than anything, as I've repeated, is just not saying anything. Like,
Yeah.
there is so much power in
So
just
much power
not
in not
posting, you know?
Yep.
Just not disclosing anymore. And then...
Or, no, honestly, what he needs to learn is, like, when somebody says something negative about you, not responding is the ultimate power.
Yes.
Like, it takes you have to kind of lessen your ego a bit, because the instinct is to want to respond and defend yourself. But in the age of online back and forth, what they want more than anything is a response. It doesn't matter whether it's good or bad. They want to know that you took the time to engage with whatever they said. And what I always say is like, look, I barely like I'm horrible at responding to even people that are nice to me. Would I give you the power by responding to the people that are mean to me first?
And this goes for falling outs with friends, like I've experienced firsthand. If somebody does you wrong, you're not necessarily helping the situation by explaining your side of the story, because ultimately they're never going to understand your perspective because it's yours. And, you know, sometimes you just have to choose the high road, which means you're not going to get the satisfaction of getting the last word.
Correct.
Or telling someone what for, trying to make someone witness how you
because
feel.
You're like, what do you expect to happen? Oh, okay, bro, I get it now.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
It might happen, and you're very lucky if you have a friendship where that happens.
Well, I'm
but
talking,
most
like,
of the time,
Yeah.
you know, that's not going to be the outcome.
Yeah.
And, you know, that friend that he's lashing out at isn't going to understand, let alone the millions of people watching this from the sidelines with no context. He needs intervention at this point with his use of social media. And on the other hand, you have his wife, Haley, conducting herself in a completely different way, where she's choosing to stay mostly silent, posting about her business, promoting herself. She's incredibly successful in her own right at this point. She's on track to become a billionaire with the sale of her beauty brand. She's a new mother. She has a dedicated fan base, and she doesn't have any of these controversies except for him. He's her only controversy. He's like coming off like this hangers-on who is basically tarnishing her reputation.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's a lot of speculation that they are going through a rough period in their marriage, that they're on the brink of divorce, all of these headlines probably being fed to the media by disreputable sources. But it's not because there's no evidence, you know? Like, he's giving people fodder with his interactions with the paparazzi, everything he's posting. I just think that he should take responsibility, and people should stop framing him as 100% a victim.
My hope is that he's what, he's 30?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, my hope is that, you know, people, it can take time, but people grow out of the rough phases, if it's drugs, whatever it is, and that he settles into it and finds like another creative stride. Maybe it's not right now. He's releasing music right now, but honestly, maybe he will learn after, because we saw that he was recording music recently. Maybe he gets back out on tour and finds that the busier he is, the more he has committed to, the healthier he is. Because I know that that is true for me. Like, the biggest disservice that I can do to myself is to not have things that I need to do, to not have things that I need to be busy doing. Now, that's when it's not work, it's going out and skating, or it's or me and Olivia planning the wedding, or we're going out and doing things. I'm constantly trying to be productive in some way, because, you know, when you're alone, that's where madness lies a lot of the time. And it seems like he has this, you know, I don't know his life, but he has a lot of free time, and it doesn't work well for him. He needs to be, maybe he needs to be the workaholic dad.
And he's just,
to be productive, or to be level-headed.
based on appearances,
Yeah.
he's smoking weed and hanging out with his friends all the time.
Correct.
He's doing hood rat shit, and it needs to stop.
He's doing hood rat shit with his friends, and his friends need to tell him to stop.
Yeah, I agree.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media, and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.